Right, this is the tricky bit to show you, the fiddly bit, the bit where I'll probably go wrong. So you want 2 bits of thin card. You want a piece that measures about 7/8 of an inch, so a bit less than the width of our spine, and the same height. And then another piece 2 or 3 inches wide. It doesn't really matter how wide that is, but it needs to be the same height as your spine. So this is going to be our template for the holes in the spine. And I do this in a very bit of an ad hoc way, really. So I'm lining this up on my scoreboard. You can do it by measuring. So you'd need half of 7/8 because you want to find the middle-ish. So I'm just very lightly going to mark that. So that's my middle. And this is the top. And then I want I basically want to divide this into thirds because I want 2 lines that I can, 2 rows of stitching, if you like, where we're going to stitch our signatures onto the spine. So I'm just going to eyeball this. So it's roughly there and there. So we've got 3 equal spaces. And I'm just going to again line this up on my scoreboard where I put that tiny little mark and just go down there. And then I'm going to line the other one up as straight as I can on here. And go down that one. So ignoring the centre one, that was just to help me line things up. I've now got 3 spaces, 2 lines and 3 spaces. I want to find the middle the other way, so I'm just going to go bend that in half and I'm going to score it there. I'm going to come in from each end 3/4 of an inch. And then I'm going to put another line somewhere in the middle between these 2. So it's about 1, 2, 3.5. So I want 1.5 plus 1/4. 1.5 plus 1/4. So I've got sections. It's really hard for you to see, I think. And I'm sorry, my head's probably in there as well. But I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I've got spaces here, here. I use the scoreboard because it just, for me, I get everything a bit more even. Okay. So where those score lines cross is where I want to make my holes. And I'm going to make the holes first. I've got a bit of foam here. To do a 5-hole pamphlet stitch for this. The next thing I'm going to do is line this up quite carefully actually on my spine. I want to try and make sure it's as central as possible on that spine. Just fix it top and bottom. Paper clip will do. Okay, just fold that up to make sure it's fairly central. And then over the foam again, and I'm just going to go right through the cover. I'm using a Tim Holtz pointy tool for this. Mine's quite bent. I have had it a long time. So that's our spine. So you can see the holes easily on this side. Not so clever, not so easy on this side with this fabric, but we'll fiddle with that when the time comes. You can just make those a little bit bigger if you want to. And then with our other piece of card, I'm just going to fold that in half lengthwise. I'm going to mark the top. I'm lining this up. And then where the fold line is, I'm just marking where I put these holes. Okay, and we'll just quickly pierce those. So just mark them with a pencil. Okay. So that's going to be to put the holes in our signatures. So the next thing I do is check that my signatures are all the right way up. It's a really, really important step. It really is. Now I haven't got any paper clips big enough there. What have I got here? Paper clip these together. Got some of these longer ones. I do each side. Check that everything is folded and in the right place. I've already done that one. And then we take a book like this. That's the top, and this is the top. Put our little template in there, remembering that our pages are a bit shorter than our book covers. So although I'm eyeballing this, I can see that I've got a little bit of an overhang, an equal overhang really, top and bottom. Got that nestled down into the crease. I'm just poking holes in there. Let's do this one. So again, equidistant little overhang. Rid of that and that, and then I've got some wax linen thread. This is quite a fine one, number 25. I would always use wax linen thread. It needs to be at least a couple of times longer than the spine, 2 to 3 times. Give yourself enough to play with, but not too much. I've got a long slim needle. Mine's got quite a pointy, quite sharp here. Sometimes it's easier to do this with a more rounded needle. But I quite like this pointy one. Again, I'm going to check that I've got my book up the right way and my pages up the right way. And we're going to start now. I'm sorry if I lean forward in this, but this actually is a bit fiddly. So I'm going to go through the centre and through my centre one here. Okay, pull that through and don't lose this end. I just hold that with my thumb. And then I want to find this hole on the other side. And because this fabric is quite tricky, I often do this. And then the equivalent hole here. So I'm coming up on that one, through my top hole, and down this one. At this point, it doesn't matter too much if things are a little bit loosey-goosey, just so you can see what you're doing. Okay, and then we want to come back up through this one from this side, so you can see here where you've gone down, back through this hole and up there. At this point you need to pull this quite tight, miss this middle one and go through this one, and just check, pull everything tight. And then we've got to find the bottom hole, which is the trickiest of all. I often go through that side, just have a look where it is, so I can see where I'm going. And then through our bottom. Okay, back through this one. Again, we'll pull everything a little bit tighter, and then I want to go back through the middle. She says. And I need to come up. Sometimes you just have to, can't quite see where I'm going with this one moment. There we go. You need to come up in the middle, but on the other side of the centre cord with this thread here. So I've got both sides. Pull it tight here, hold it here, check that you're tight on all these, and then just tie it off. You really do need to take your time with this bit. I did that quite easily actually. Doesn't always go quite as smoothly as that, I have to be honest. Take the paper clips off. You can see that we're fairly straight there, in fact very straight. And then I just ease each page down like this. Tiny page there, but we'll fiddle with that at a later date. And then go back the other way. And then let's see if we can put the other one in. I mean, if you've seen enough, that's fine. I'm going to do a final video just to go through a few other bits. And the reasons why I've kept this so simple. I mean, I've put no pockets in, I've done no stitching, no edges or anything like that. This is just a very basic journal. Let's see where that is. This one's hard to see. Sometimes if I can't get it, pop that through. And that just guides me through. I'm really hoping you can see all this. I can't check my very ad hoc, unprofessional setup here. Through the top one. Let's pull that tightish at this point. And then we need to go back through that visible hole. Exactly the right place this time, she says. Don't know why that's not going through there. Let's try again. Just got it slightly off. There we go. Missed the middle one. Through this one. Let me see where this one is. This this really is a tricky fabric. See what I mean about fiddling? The other one went in so easy. If anybody knows of another simpler way of doing this, please let me know. I suppose you could mark, you could use an invisible pen or something on the other side. Like a meant to just show me up. There, got it. Through there, back through that one, and then hopefully up through the middle, and everything in its place. So I will finish this off in the same way that I did the other. I'm not going to make you sit and watch me fiddle with that one, but it will go through. And I'll be back with a final video.